Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. What an exciting time to be a Spider-Man fan, man. What just an absolutely insane week. We got so many great details. We got new gameplay. It seems like every single day something new and exciting and groundbreaking about Marvel Spider-Man 2 comes out. And today we have a very exciting video talking about some hidden details that really went under the radar this week that we think actually has some pretty exciting implications on both the gameplay and story for Marvel Spider-Man 2. And we're going to break it all down for you guys today. But first, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that, just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It'll notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload. Also though, Andreas, we have a pretty exciting announcement, don't we?
That's right, Nick, we do. This week, we hit 20,000 subscribers here on the channel, all thanks to all of you and your strong and continuous support of this channel. First off, I just want to go ahead and say thank you everyone for joining us on our YouTube journey as we continue to cover Spider-Man 2 and beyond. And to celebrate, we would love to have a Q&A here on the channel. This is something that we haven't done since all the way back when we had 2,000 subscribers, I think about a year and a half or 2 years ago at this point. So this is a great opportunity for us to get to know you guys to get to know us. And all we ask is that you leave a comment down below with the phrase Q&A and then any question, and we will go ahead and pick as many questions as feasible and put together a video where we will answer all of your questions. So feel free to ask anything you want about the game, about us, about Spider-Man 2, other games, what you'd like to see on the channel, anything you can think of. We're going to be answering it here on this Q&A.
Yep, guys, I completely agree with Andreas. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It really does mean the world to us. You all matter so much to us. We're so appreciative. Now, with that out of the way, though, let's go ahead and just get right into this breakdown.
Before we dig into the really cool hidden detail that we're going to be talking about today, first off, Nick, I think it's important to contextualize this conversation with some not so hidden details that we all should be familiar with by this point, but just to contextualize the conversation, maybe hit on these few key moments from the new State of Play trailer that are sure to factor into this conversation.
Yeah, so the State of Play trailer, I'm sure you guys have all seen it by now, and if you haven't, what are you doing? Go watch it. It provided us with so many great new details about the gameplay, story, suits, all of that great stuff. And one of the things that it sort of confirmed, or I guess soft confirmation, it's like the worst kept secret about Marvel Spider-Man 2, is that Mysterio Quentin Beck will be featured in this game in some capacity. Of course, we saw him, what we believed to be Quentin Beck, reaching his hand out towards Miles and Genki. And then, of course, we saw his Mysterio Eye Illuminati type logo in the sky as one of those mission objective icons that will be in the sky. And we saw that icon featured alongside the other missions on the map for this game. And this presents a really interesting conversation when you go back to the story trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2, because Andreas, this is not the first time we've actually seen this Mysterio Illuminati Eye type icon. We just didn't know what we were looking at the time.
That's right, Nick, and when you go ahead and do scrub through that story trailer, at just about the 38-second mark, you can see Miles Morales. He's having a nice conversation with Pete here, and just behind Miles' shoulder, you can see what appears to be the bottom half of an Illuminati-like door, and I'm calling it Illuminati, but it's really like this Mysterio logo for this game. And that door looks like it is the same set piece from the background of the Quentin Beck shot from the new State of Play trailer. And what really does cement this fact is if you look at what Miles is wearing in the State of Play trailer, he's wearing a red hoodie here. Go back to the story trailer and Miles is wearing that same red hoodie. And to corroborate this with yet another layer here, if you look at what Genki is wearing in the story trailer, he's wearing a blue bucket hat, and he's wearing that same exact blue bucket hat in the foreground of the Quentin Beck shot from the State of Play trailer. So this really does look like we are going to approach Quentin Beck in the Coney Island area of the game. And what's even more important than where we are going to approach him is this scene was contextualized in the story trailer, which presumably was showing highlights from the story of this game. And so if we're wondering, is Mysterio going to be a side character, or is he going to impact the story here, Nick, this would suggest maybe that he's actually going to impact the story, or at the very least he's going to be introduced as a character throughout the story of this game.
Yeah, and just to take it another step further, if you just cross-reference that logo that is behind Miles, at least the half logo you can see, to that icon we see in the sky from the State of Play trailer, it's the same logo. Like, just look at it. It's clearly the same logo, so that just tells us that, like you said, Andreas, Mysterio, Quentin Beck, he's going to have some sort of appearance or presence on Coney Island. He's probably like an illusionist or a effects artist at a show on Coney Island at that carnival. Like, that makes a ton of sense for his character. But you do pose a very interesting question, and that is, how is Mysterio going to play in this game? Because if you take the State of Play trailer for face value, it really looks like these Mysterio missions are going to be more side missions. They're not tied into that main story quest like the yellow icon. They have their own dedicated icon like that the camera icon did, and the various other icons we see on the map. Like, it's clearly its own standalone thing. So it makes me wonder, like, was Mysterio going to be playing a role similar to, say, like the Riddler from the Arkham Knight game? More of the side quests, side missions, multiple missions. You kind of get the Mysterio storyline that way. Or is he going to play a more major role in this game? And like you said, Andreas, now that we're able to tie this back to the story trailer, he's featured in the story trailer, so presumably he will be featured in the main story of this game, whether this is a way for him to be introduced into the game as like a, hey, look, Quentin Beck, Mysterio is in this game, or it means he is playing a major role. Because if you think back to Marvel Spider-Man, they've done this before. Along the story, the main story of that game, you come across Vulture, Shocker, Scorpion, Rhino, all those guys, but no one would really argue that the main villains of that game were any of those characters. It was clearly Doc Ock and Mr. Negative, and in Marvel Spider-Man 2, it's going to be Kraven, it's going to be Venom, it's going to be Lizard. So it could be a situation like that where Mysterio is playing more of the role of the Scorpion, Vultures of the world, where, yeah, he's a main part of the story, but he's the side villain of this game, or one of the side villains of this game, because we're expecting Venom to be the main bad guy of this game, and it looks like Kraven is going to play more of that Mr. Negative role in this game, but it looks like Mysterio could be playing more of that Vulture or Scorpion role in this game. So it's just an interesting conversation, Andreas. I don't know what you're thinking. Do you think he's going to be more of like a side quest only Riddler type from Arkham Knight, or do you think he's going to play a big role in this story, or you think it's going to be a little bit of both? Maybe he just has some missions along the way, but he also plays into the main story.
When I saw the State of Play trailer and I saw the icons for Mysterio on the map, and then I also saw the Prowler icons on the map, I almost thought that these were side quests, because the main quests in this game are denoted with the yellow marker, and I thought that maybe Prowler and Mysterio were relegated to more side character content in this game. But now that I'm thinking about the intersection of this scene from the State of Play trailer and the story trailer, I am wondering, it's just in the back of my head now, maybe Mysterio is going to be a bigger deal than I initially thought. Maybe he is going to have an impact on this story, not quite to the extent that Venom is going to have, or Kraven, because as we've heard from prior interviews, Kraven is the driving force for this plot. He is the one who is expected to push characters into uncomfortable situations, and then Venom is almost like the be-all, end-all villain of this game. I mean, we've just seen Insomniac hype up Venom so much in the promotional materials, the 19 inches of Venom that we're all familiar with, and so it would really be a shame if Venom did not live up to all of that hype, but I am wondering if Mysterio would be one of those characters in the villains ensemble at the end of the game, like we saw with the Sinister Six at the end of PS4. And I think that might be where Mysterio comfortably fits into the plot of this game. But Nick, to me, the question that arises from that is that doing Mysterio dirty? Is this a character who deserves a bit more respect than to be kind of in the background as more of a tertiary villain in this game? Or is he a character that really deserves to be at the forefront of whatever plot he's in?
No, I don't think that this is doing him dirty, because I think this is something that was necessary for him to make an appearance in this universe, just because like you had the makeshift Insomniac Sinister Six in the first game, or some sort of like iteration of it, at least a group that was in the nature of the Sinister Six, and Mysterio plays a major role in the Sinister Six in the comics. So it was more disappointing to not see him make an appearance in Marvel Spider-Man 1 outside of just, you know, some references we know from that game that him and Peter have a history. Like they've crossed paths, they've fought before. I believe Peter even says he got the influence for his eye lenses for his mask from Mysterio himself, like the fishbowl helmet. So clearly they have a history, and it was more disappointing for him not to make an appearance in that game. So I am just incredibly excited to see him make an appearance in this game and to see what Insomniac does with him, like their take on the character, because I think he is one of those characters and one of those villains that has so much potential. Like you could take him for face value, you could take him literally, you could do all of these crazy things with his abilities that I'm just incredibly excited to see how Insomniac does go about doing it. So to really just answer your question, Andreas, I'm just excited to see him be in Marvel Spider-Man 2 in some capacity. I'm excited to see what they do with him, how his story unfolds, how he impacts the story of this game, if he does at all. And Andreas, I'm excited to see how they handle what we already know about these characters and their interactions from the first game.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Nick, because from just the State of Play trailer itself, we know that Mysterio is going to come face to face with Miles and Genki. But what we don't know is, does he come face to face with Peter again? Because, as you said, Nick, Mysterio does have that history with Pete where they have come toe to toe, and presumably Peter has defeated Mysterio in the past because he does have a piece of his destroyed fishbowl helmet. And so I am wondering if there is going to be almost like that grudge match revenge mentality that Mysterio might bring into the fold for this story. And if so, is he going to take that out on another Spider-Man here with Miles? And is Peter going to bail Miles out? Is he going to help Miles? Or is Miles going to be all on his own, confronting and fighting Mysterio, as Peter is going to be grappling with Harry and the symbiote? Maybe this is a good opportunity for Miles to have his own challenge in this game, but I have to say, Nick, I'm really excited to see how Peter and Mysterio's grudge dynamic might play into the story.
Yeah, I really am too, guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you think now that we have this soft confirmation of Mysterio being in this game. I mean, we're going to be dealing with Kraven, we're going to be dealing with Venom, Lizard, Mr. Negative is making an appearance somehow in this game, like Martin Lee is, Mysterio now. Like, there are so many villains that are going to be in this game, and probably more that we don't even know yet or haven't even talked about. So let us know what you guys think of how Insomniac's going to be able to balance all of these villains together. Do you think they'll be able to balance them all together? And let us know what you think Mysterio is going to be in this game. Is he going to play a major role in the story because now we've seen him make an appearance in the story trailer? Or do you think he's going to play more of a side mission, side quest type thing, like the State of Play trailer kind of points him in that direction to be? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. We definitely love hearing from you. And don't forget to drop a Q&A question like Andreas said in the intro. You can ask us whatever you want, anything about us, anything about Marvel Spider-Man 2, anything about the channel, games we've covered, games we're going to be covering in the future. Whatever you guys want to ask us, we are open and more than willing to answer anything outside of like personal credit card information, you know, stuff like that. But make sure to get a question in for the Q&A. We'll have that video up as soon as we can. And again, thank you guys so much for the 20,000. It's been an incredible journey so far, and we cannot wait to do it for hopefully years to come. But guys, that is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.